Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisance of Salt Literature Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to our morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we will be continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse 41. And the chapter is entitled The Punishment and Reward of Kali. We're very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And it's all yours, Maharaj.
Long time I haven't seen you. It's been 2 days now.
Maharaj, it's only 2 days, Maharaj. I feel like it's been years for us over here that we haven't had your association darshan, Maharaj.
Mm. I don't know. I'm in India, so it's hard for me to feel separation from America right now.
I can definitely understand that, Maharaj. It's a crazy place over here.
But my heart goes out to all the devotees.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. We definitely need your blessings every single time.
Hope you guys get enough to eat.
Yes, Maharaj. So far, by the mercy of Guru Gauranga, it's been good.
Good.
Only by your mercy, Maharaj, I'm sure.
It's interesting. I've been reading Bhagavatam systematically, and I just passed this particular section that it's
Oh.
interesting. Yeah, I just entered into chapter 18 today.
Oh, yeah, we can't wait to get. I think we start that next week. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, this is you just came out of a pretty interesting series of verses and purports.
Yes, Maharaj. Pretty intense. Straightforward.
Yeah, Prabhupada's right on. Tells you like it is.
And it's simple too, Maharaj. Like Srila Prabhupada's purport is so, it's like it's right on, it's straightforward, but simple at the same time. Amazing.
Easy to understand, but
Yes.
without mincing or compromising reality.
So true, Maharaj.
Yeah, okay, so we'll begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Atayetani Nasevata Bhuyashu Purusha Achit Vise Sato Damo Shilo Rajaloka Patir Guruhu. Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the four above-mentioned irreligious principles. Purport. The Brahmins are the religious preceptors for all other castes, and the sannyasis are the spiritual masters for all the castes and orders of society. So also the king and the public leaders are responsible for the material welfare of all people. Progressive religionists and those who are responsible human beings, or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human life, should refrain from all the principles of irreligiosity, and especially illicit connection with women. If a Brahmin is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahmin at once become null and void. If the sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once becomes false. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. Truthfulness is the basic principles for all religions. The four leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the brahmanas, the king, and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Before one can be accepted as a spiritual and material master of society, he must be tested by the above-mentioned criteria of character. Such public leaders may be less qualified in academic qualifications, but is necessarily primarily that they be free from the contamination of the four disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Om Gyan Tamanandasya Gyanadvana Sahakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Staptikam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swam Padatikam Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavanadi Satyatya De Satarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. One minute.
Maharaj is muted.
So I'm there. I'm just doing something else for a second here. Okay.
No problem, Maharaj.
Sorry to interrupt. Actually.
Just have to keep up with the current times here. Okay, so we know and we hear, and we're also requested to follow the four restrictions that are the foundation by which all sinful activities is understood, and these are named in here: gambling, illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating. And Prabhupada expands it out, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. These four sinful activities are the pillars of all sinful activity. They are the foundation by which all sinful activities spring from. And we can see that these are very much common within human society as the present situation shows. Drinking, so many places for drinking. Prostitution is not even done in we might say, organized way. Instead, it's so easy nowadays, anybody can engage in this kind of activity. They even encourage it, even inside of marriages. And animal slaughter, the amount of animals that go to the slaughterhouse per day is unbelievably horrible to hear the actual amounts. And of course, gambling casinos are all over the world, and some places even specialize in gambling. So the world is full of sinful activity today. And it goes on as ways, but people can experience entertainment, enjoy life. And therefore, there are so many problems. Problems, social problems, political problems, economic problems, mental problems, health problems, ecological problems, problems from all sides. And all of these problems are all reactions to the sinful activities of the human society. One can refrain from these four. And what are the reformations? There is an antidote for each one. Or you might say a religious principle that establishes one that allows one to be free from that. Austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, and mercifulness. It's mentioned in this section here. Gambling destroys truthfulness. Drinking destroys austerity, prostitution, cleanliness, and animal slaughter, mercifulness. So these are the four principles of religion. In this section of the Bhagavatam, Maharaj Parikshit has come across a cow and a bull, both being harassed by the personification of Kali, which has just entered after the disappearance of the Supreme Lord. And Kali's making his move, and he is attacking. You can see cow and the bull, which are the representatives of earth and the representatives of true Dharma. The cow and the bull represent Dharma, and also cow represents the bull represents Dharma. Cow represents Mother Earth. And Kali has come in and made his effect. Maharaj Parikshit, very powerful and very qualified king, will not allow a religion anywhere in his kingdom. He comes, he checks Kali, he takes Kali to issue, and then he starts to ready to kill Kali, but Kali surrenders to the Lord, and the Lord gives him a place to stay. Because it's understood that irreligion, if it's not active, then it's not harmful. So he gives irreligion a place to stay where it cannot act. And he says, any place where there's a hoarding of gold. Of course, at first he said any place where these four sinful activities are being done. But Kali responded, nowhere in the kingdom will you find these things going on in your kingdom. So I have no place to stay. I am also your progeny. You are the king, and therefore I am one of your citizens. You still have to give me a place to stay. So Prabhupada mentions the word falsity. Falsity means the idea of false pride, which is based on illicit connection with wealth. And that is the gold standard. Prabhupada talks about that in the previous statements, how the whole society has artificially established this idea of a gold standard. But then, after some time, they took everything off the gold standard and left it as a paper standard with no actual gold backing. Even the gold standard is artificial because the amount of gold in reserve does not equal the amount of currency that is in circulation within the country. And so it is an artificial thing. And then, of course, in the United States, I know specifically, they took everyone off the gold standard in 1920. In 1920, they took the use of gold out of circulation. And in 1929, they took it out of circulation. And then in the beginning of the 1960s, they took everything off the gold standard. And all we have is this paper money, which has no real wealth at all. So that is falsity, the false sense of wealth based on this paper. So those who actually want to follow the principles of religion, those who are actually leaders, must be free from these four sinful contaminations. It says here, even if they're less qualified in an academic way, that doesn't disqualify them. What disqualifies them is that they have to be free from these, what we say, irreligious habits or irreligious activities. Therefore, in our Krishna conscious society, we teach people austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, and mercifulness, which counteracts these. Therefore, Prabhupada mentions in some of the purports that in establishing a society, the leaders must do two things. One, must establish these four principles: austerity, truthfulness, cleanliness, and mercifulness, as the foundation for the operation of the society and the individual's activities within the society. And they must also remove from society these four activities. As long as these four activities are going on in any, even the smallest way, there is pollution in the society and it can easily spread. It's like a disease. And people are inclined to these things. There's a certain class of people who simply live in order to perform these activities. Now animal slaughter has become an economic gain for a certain small class of people, and therefore they have no remorse of just slaughtering animals in order to fill their pockets with a lot of money coming from selling of meat. So they'll do anything. And so today we have to understand we are in the midst of a very degraded type of lifestyle, which is come out by the age of Kali. Kali is simply sinful, and the sinfulness is all pervading, and it will continue to spread as Kali Yuga continues to progress in its activities. There's only one counteraction, that the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Prabhupada mentions this, if this is adopted by the leaders of society and propagated within the society, this will push back the effects of Kali and start to bring about a quality of life which is conducive to human form of existence, and at the same time will help one achieve the ultimate goal of life and self-realization. So anyone who is a leader is a misleader. So we can judge here that people who take the position of leadership have to be free from these four activities and must observe at least moral and religious qualities. Otherwise, they are not qualified to lead. It's not a character is actually the point of leadership, not academic ability. If a person's character is not good, how can he lead others? Nowadays, they say, well, what he does in the office is really what counts. What he does at home, what he does behind the scenes, not so important. No, it's actually is important, because how people live will also come out in their leadership too. And who would like to be inspired by people who are sinful? Because they will propagate sinful activities simply by their presence and by their activities. So there's two words that here, there's four types of people are mentioned: the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the kings, which are the Kshatriyas, the leaders of society, the public leaders, and what else? The sannyasis. Sannyasis are the head of the ashrams. They're actually the head of both the varnas and the ashrams. The Brahmins are the head of the varnas, and the king is the head of the society. And then you have the leaders, the public leaders in different areas of society. All of them must be without contact with these activities and lead people according to religious principles, which are given by the Brahmins. The whole society works cooperatively in order to function on all levels, both materially and spiritually. The Kshatriyas, they organize, they give protection, and they arrange for society to get whatever they need. The Brahmins give advice, both materially and spiritually, on how the Kshatriyas should rule, and then that advice is filtered down within the society by the Kshatriyas through various types of legislations, rules, regulations, and programs. That is how society must be governed. And as you read, you'll go on from the verses that are upcoming. Prabhupada puts a lot of emphasis on the leaders in society must be qualified to lead by being free from these 4 sinful activities. And here it says that out of all of the sinful activities, truthfulness is the basic principle from all religions. Nowadays, it's very fashionable to lie. Nobody can trust anybody anymore because now everybody uses either lie or sophistry. Sophistry is half truth, half lying, in order to get people to believe whatever they want them to believe, or to further their own selfish interests. Well, lying has become a common theme. Advertising, billboards, and various types of media advertising are all geared with lies to sell products, and they'll say anything. Well, they push their products just to get people to buy them. Doesn't matter what they have to say; they'll use any trick, or they'll use any half truth in order to propagate their products on the market. So this is society. It says here, a sannyasi, if he's illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi becomes false. So sannyasi may have to lead his disciples who are also women, but he should also refrain from wrong connection, which means personal, intimate relationships with ladies. And therefore, you'll see that nowadays within the society, especially in the Indian society, you'll see these sannyasis who are leaders of different mats and groups, and they're yogis and some others. Most of their followers are women, and many of them have been caught with illicit activities with their followers. There was one in America, I remember he was very popular for years, and he was exposed and then later taken to court and then thrown out of the country of America, mostly because of tax evasion. But he was implicated with some of his followers. And this happens a lot. And so because they have no spiritual acumen, they dress as sannyasis and claim to be renunciates in order to attract people, in order to get followers or to get some kind of material remuneration. So this is Kali Yuga. It's full of lying, cheating, bickering, enmity, envy, falsity, nepotism. It's everywhere. So we have to be careful in our Krishna conscious society to very strictly follow the rules and regulations given to us by our spiritual master, and become very much attuned to not being affected by the mood of the non-devotees. In other words, we should be truthful, clean, austere, know the scriptures, be able to speak the scriptures also, simple in our daily, day-to-day activities, simple in our lifestyle also. One has to be also very, very detached from activities that bring about results that bring great amounts of wealth or power into the society, and not claim to take some of it for oneself. Whatever we do is to be used for the propagation of religious principles and to purify the devotees in their execution of devotional service. So it's the devotees must live very strictly by what we've been given. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is there. Bhagavad Gita speaks a lot about personal qualifications, qualities, execution of devotional service, the purpose of austerities, and the enthusiasm one must develop in executing one's devotional service. If we follow very carefully Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam as given by our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, then we have exemplary character. It's our character that really is going to spread Krishna consciousness. We have many programs, but unless the character is ideal, the programs will not last. They will simply be shallow. It is the character of the devotees. And what are those characters? The devotees are kind, they're simple, they work for the welfare of others, they are not greedy, lusty, avaricious. They are always thinking how to glorify the Lord and how to include others in the glorification of the Lord. These are just some of the few of the many principles. Devotees are also very silent when it comes to material topics. They are also very, they do not eat more than required. They do not sleep more than required, as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. They are ideal persons, and their characters are so exemplary that people will simply be attracted to the movement of Krishna consciousness by the character and quality of the devotees. And of course, Prabhupada said, the devotee is a perfect gentleman, a perfect lady. In other words, they give respects to all living entities. So these are the things that will make our Krishna conscious movement attractive and have made the Krishna conscious movement attractive. And it's also if we live by these qualities, we become happy and we become free from anxiety, which is the characteristic of the entire material world. Everyone's full of anxiety. Devotees have no anxiety because the only anxiety a devotee may have is that he or she may be a little anxious to push on Krishna consciousness. But that type of anxiety is spiritual, and therefore it elevates the consciousness. The devotee is free from material anxiety because they have no material desires. Okay, so this is just some of the characteristics and qualities of leadership, which means ultimately a devotee in all senses a leader. Whether you are in a position of leadership or you're not in a position of leadership, you have influence. And that influence should be tempered by these characteristics. That is austerity, mercifulness, truthfulness, cleanliness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Marge, for the wonderful class and a good, very, very nice points that I hope that we all can take in and have some questions. I'm going to stop sharing the screen so that we can see each other and turn on the videos. I request devotees, if you're able to, please do turn on your videos so that we can see each other and Marge can see us and have each other's association. Are there any questions from devotees from this very, very nice class about the 4 qualities, the rules and regulations? And to me, actually, I think I'll start with the question, Marge. when you spoke about austerity, Maharaj, and you mentioned that how important it is that for devotees to live a Krishna conscious life, to apply the principle of austerity. Nowadays, Maharaj, the word austerity has a negative connotation. When we use the word austerity, people think, oh, I'm going to be poor like a beggar. So, but at the same time, austerity also helps us to learn to be detached, and everything belongs to the Lord. So how, as practicing devotees, Maharaj, as Kali Yuga is getting crazy because there's so much distraction and attachment to whatever's happening there, how can we develop the mood and understanding of the importance of austerity, Maharaj, in spiritual life?
Well, austerity has a very clear definition. It means to give up something that you may like for a higher purpose. And there are recommended austerities like described in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Austerities of the body, austerities of speech, austerities of the mind. And they're listed with explanations on each of them. The main austerity is to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and follow the 4 regulations. So refraining from these 4 sinful activities is the recommended austerities for each and every devotee. And chanting the Hare Krishna is the sacrifice in this age. So that sacrifice is also seen as the topmost of all austerities, to chant at least, for those who are initiated, 16 rounds on beats every day without fail. And then the other austerities, as mentioned in the Gita, austerities of the body, such as cleanliness, worship of the superiors, celibacy, if you go to chapter 17 in Bhagavad Gita, verse number 13, it describes the different categories and the different austerities. Well, let's see. Okay, keep going. Let's go down the page. Let's see. Okay, 14 is where it starts. Austerity of the body consists of worshiping the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master, and superiors, like father and mother, cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. So these are called austerities of the body. And then next verse is austerities of speech, consisting speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others. And to support what everyone says, one should recite Vedic literature as a support system. Austerities of the mind, satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence. And
I'm sorry, Maharaj.
and avoid the 4 sinful activities. These are recommended austerities.
So Maharaj, here Prabhupada's purport is saying to make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification. And that has, and that is always a challenge sometimes, because the mind is always telling us to gratify. So how can we really work on the mind to be austere, Maharaj? Like, it's because it's just getting so crazy out there. Like, even when we drive down the highway, there's enough billboards to grab our attention to get ourselves sucked in.
Yeah, we're fighting against, so many distractions. And therefore, one has to chant the holy names of the Lord seriously, fix the mind on Krishna and the holy name, and detach oneself from these other things. And that takes practice. Like the mind says, all right, you're sitting down and you have this big piece of pizza in front of you. So you have one piece, you have another piece. Now you are sufficiently full with pizza, but the mind says, yeah, go for another piece. And so you're being tempted by the mind, which likes to program us towards enjoyment. And the intelligence should be programmed for us for the level of restriction, so we can check the mind when the mind wants to go into these areas of sense enjoyment. So that happens, you have to practice it. And as you practice that, you get the higher taste. When you get the higher taste, then you start refraining easily from the lower taste. You know, oh, this is not good for my Krishna consciousness. Therefore, even though I want it, I like it, I will do it. Or this is good for my Krishna consciousness. Although I might find it hard to do, still I do it because I know it is beneficial. So, as it's explained, one should work in such a way as that to accept things that are favorable and reject things that are unfavorable. So that is a matter of knowledge and a matter of practice. Knowing what is favorable for our spiritual life and doing that, and knowing what is not favorable and avoiding that. And through that, you get power, you get knowledge, and you get detachment when you practice like that, and you become satisfied. Therefore, one of the austerities of the mind is satisfaction. One becomes satisfied, not by anything external, but by one's own practice of Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Marge. So we have to, while the mind is going on its own trip of having us, get into more sense gratification, simultaneously, we have to train our intelligence to reject it.
Yeah, if the intelligence is like the mind, then you don't have any hope. And therefore, you have to purify your intelligence by hearing from Shastra and from Guru. Guru and Shastra and Krishna are the foundations by which we develop the intelligence to execute devotional service. The words of the scriptures, the words of the spiritual master, the injunctions given by Krishna through Guru and Shastra.
Thank you, Marge. And what's coming to my mind is going back to the first and the foremost, as Srila Prabhupada says, of the the first of the 9 devotional processes is Shravanam, hearing.
Yeah. To execute devotional service, we require to develop an intelligence that is not influenced by external demands or outside influence. In other words, we have to be connected with higher knowledge, and that's where the intelligence gets its strength.
Thank you, Marge. Thank you. Namrata Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances or glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Maharaj, wonderful lecture. So you said that irreligion is not active if irreligion is not active, it is not harmful. But the fact that it is,
that's the whole situation that was given by Maharaj Parikshit. he wanted to, he punished Kali by giving him a place where he couldn't do anything.
But Maharaj, it is there.
Yeah, that's mentioned in the purport. I can show you the purport. It's one of the future purports in this same chapter. You can read it. And Maharaj Parikshit, he didn't kill Kali, but gave him a place where he couldn't function. But then, gradually when Maharaj Parikshit left the planet, gradually, then there was no strong leader who was representing the Supreme Personality. Then Kali made his move. Before then, he couldn't do anything, although he was present. And Parikshit Maharaj protected the citizens of the world from Kali. But he disabled Kali from functioning. But he gave him a place to stay because he was a citizen and he begged for some place. So you can read it. Just go on and just read, take the same section and read the purports as Srila Prabhupada has given us. You'll come across that. Prabhupada says it a couple times in different purports. It actually comes up in the beginning of the next chapter, chapter number 18. He showed mercy to Kali, but at the same time, he disabled Kali from functioning.
Okay, Maharaj. But the fact that it is there, doesn't it gives the probability that in future it will get active? Then what is the point of
That's what happened. That's what happened. Therefore, when there's no strong leader in society who represents God consciousness, it comes back. Because these are the activities of people in the age of Kali.
And how it is considered as the subject of or the progeny of a king? I mean, irreligion. I didn't understand that, Maharaj.
So what Maharaj Parikshit did was he established the 4 religious principles: austerity, mercifulness, truthfulness, and cleanliness. And he said when the society is functioning according to these religious principles, then people are not inclined to all of these other things. He drove out irreligion and established religious principles. So irreligion is still there, but it was inactive. But when the leadership changed, and then Krishna left the planet, then gradually these things started to filter in. We read that in our own section. You'll see that in chapter 14 on our daily class that we have. As soon as Krishna left the planet, all these things came in. But then Maharaj Parikshit came up and he pushed all of this out again. And he established truth. That's the power of a God-conscious leader. So Prabhupada makes the point: the leaders in society have to govern according to these principles. Otherwise, the whole society will go out. The leaders are not up to the standard, then everything goes in. And that's what you have today. There's no leadership in the world.
Thank you, Maharaj. I'll read more on this. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Nice question, Namrata. Thank you. I thought I saw Prakshit's hand up, but he took it down. Do you want to ask a question or is it answered?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. When you referred us to Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, the austerity section, and there was one part about austerities of the mind. And one of the things that Krishna was saying was purification of one's existence. And I thought that was pretty broad. And I always wanted some kind of, definition of that, because so many other things that we have to do have been listed. And then it seems that purification of one's existence is very broad. Then I read in the purport, and that's why I put my hands down. I read in the purport, it says that Shiva Prabhupada says purification of existence is to be Krishna conscious. I said, oh, well. But then that's why I put my hands down. That means everything in Krishna consciousness we have to do, basically.
Yes, Krishna consciousness, but it's actually refraining from these four sinful activities and following the principles of religion. That's purification of one's existence.
Okay.
Living according to purity.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. And as for leadership, you said you can't, in American Express, we can't buy a good leader these days. You can't even buy one if we had somebody. So divine intervention, or what's gonna happen? I don't know.
Well, Lord Chaitanya's got the plan, and it's mentioned throughout many of the verses, and especially the up and coming verses. Spread the chanting of the holy name everywhere. This will push back the effects of karma and bring about the age of Lord Chaitanya's golden age.
Thank you, Maharaj.
It's repeatedly mentioned. And Prabhupada says that the leaders also should propagate the chanting of the Lord's holy name within society, not just the followers, but everyone, especially the leaders. Prabhupada gives the example how King Ashoka that's coming up in one of the purport. King Ashoka, he took to Buddhism, and because he was the king, he made it the state religion, that everyone must follow this, and therefore, because he was the leader and he made it a decree, people were, everyone was following Buddhism. That's one example. The other example is mentioned in the life of the Lord Chaitanya in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, where King Birhambir from Vanavishnupur came in contact with Srinivasacharya and became his disciple. Prior, the king used to be a dacoit, but then, after becoming purified, taking shelter of Srinivas, he became a great devotee, and he made the rule in his kingdom, everyone has to follow Vaishnavism. And Prabhupada's given somewhat of a loose understanding of that in his thought and what he said. It's the duty of the leader in society to make sure everyone is following religious principles. It doesn't matter if it's the religious principles of the Christians or the Islamic or the Vaishnavas, but no one cannot follow any religious principle. So that becomes a requirement for the citizens to follow some form of religious principles. So that is good. That is saintly leadership. Atheism is not allowed. The only atheists that can exist are those who remain somewhat secret. As soon as they propagate their atheism, they're punished.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
I'm glad you asked the question.
The leaders have to be strong. They can't be whimsical. Or they can't be bought off by various types of perks. These are not real leaders. Today, we don't have any leadership. All the leadership is really, it's so bad that it's actually ridiculous. And you see the people who are leading the world today, it's really, really pathetic.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yes, Speaker Prabhu, please go ahead with your question. Prabhu, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, please? Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat pranams from us. Thank you so much for a very interesting, in-depth class. We are following things that matter. We spoke earlier about austerity. I'm at a stage in life where I can practice austerity of different kinds. Going back to your earlier comments about the leadership of Parikshit Maharaj, in his reign, Kali didn't have any place to stay. But today, Kali has all the places to stay. And I don't know how the leaders can change because they are balancing acts of survival, politics, economy. They want to stay in power. So in the midst of it, I agree fully, it's Krishna consciousness, Mahamantra to help us. But is there anything to kind of help us and also find a solution for world leaders that can change their outlook to all these different wrongdoings?
Well, Lord Chaitanya's movement is spreading gradually, some areas more so than ever, more so than others. But this is Lord Chaitanya's plan to bring the golden age to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And we're seeing there are leaders in society who are actually God conscious. I don't want to get into naming a few names because I don't want to get into that personal aspect of it. But there are some who understand what is really ruling and actually have the interests of the people at heart. But because Kali Yuga is everywhere, even those leaders who are in charge find it very difficult to propagate spiritual and moral material principles, or even material principles that are based on human characteristics and qualities that are normal for society. Just like everyone should have food to eat. The food is poisoned nowadays by pesticides, herbicides, various types of GMO and various other things. So even the leaders in society who are well-wishers of people, there are a few in the world, they find themselves only can do so much because of the political system and the whole contamination of Kali Yuga is quite all-pervading. It's everywhere. But we must, as devotees, keep ourselves pure by being very strict in following Krishna conscious principles, and especially with our chanting of the holy name, and working to spread Krishna consciousness in whatever way we can. If every devotee in our society was actively preaching Krishna consciousness, then you'll see how fast how this world will change fast. But we have some, not enough. What's going on? Lord Chaitanya is empowering those who are surrendered But whatever way we can make a difference, we do it individually, we do it collectively.
Thank you, Maharaj. Very useful tips on preaching. Thank you.
Most important, we stay very strict in our own practice.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Yes, Mother Tirthakirti, please go ahead with your question.
Oh, I can say. I think about 2 years ago, or not even, you had almost the same lecture, but all the points you said will come, will come. Now the horrible thing is happening. Now it has come. All those terrible points have come. And it is frustrating to think how it goes on. The only hope is that we have big power if we want to change. If we put everything in changing and in keeping it up, then we can, because we are stronger, we are with Krishna, and if he's on our side, then we can manage, we can make it. We just have to stick tightly together. Let's all hope and let's all pray for it. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, work for it too.
Thank you so much, Mother. Amazing. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you. Yes,
Thank
Sridevi.
you.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Prabhupada. So, Guru Maharaj, it is prophesied that this Hare Krishna movement will save the world in its darkest hour. And we can see what is happening in the world today, how people are suffering, how much sinful activities are going on, and how is no leadership, or rather the leaders themselves are looting, cheating, doing all kinds of things. So ISKCON is the only answer to these problems. But what do you think of ISKCON's leadership? What is the lead it is taking in bringing about saintly?
Lord Chaitanya is leading the lead. He's leading the pack.
Haribol!
He's the leader. He's the leader. And he's not only working with us, but he's working with many people around the world to make it happen. He's God. He knows what he's doing. But he has to work according to how much we are surrendered. And therefore he empowers his devotees. He's also empowering the non-devotees to also bring about his movement in different ways. By exposing all of the cheating and lying that are going on. Just like today, I saw a video which showed that in the United States of America, within the last year, 93 different places that contain warehouses full of food were on fire, burned down to the ground. So there's a conscious effort by the demons to kill the food supply in America. They want to starve out America and then make them people completely dependent on them. So they're destroying the whole food supply. And you can see, you don't have to be that the price of food in America is, and of course over in the UK also, is going up and up and up and up and up because of shortages now. So that's the demon's plan. But they won't succeed. But they're doing it. So our job is to preach Krishna consciousness and especially propagate the chanting of the holy name. Just coming together with devotees in a group and chanting, whether it's at a house or at a temple or at a designated site, that purifies everything, not just the people who take part in the kirtan, but it purifies the whole atmosphere, all around the area, everything. Chanting of the holy name is the means for propagating eternal religious principles in the most direct and most powerful way. If we have that faith and we organize around that, you'll see everything change. It's changing already. There's so many things that are actually happening now that weren't happening last year in terms of people taking to our movement. Not only actively, but on the side. There are thousands and thousands of people who chant Hare Krishna who are not devotees. They don't want to join any society. They don't want to join any kind of organization, but they're inclined to our philosophy and our way of life and all the practice of Krishna consciousness. So they do it among their friends and others. Many of them are leaders also in society. There's a big, the Lord Chaitanya is working in different ways, push on his movement.
That is so heartening and that is so inspiring to hear, Guru Maharaj. I'm very enlivened to hear what you said in answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but we need more because Kali has dug in quite deeply. He's entrenched. Get him out. Not so easy.
Very nice question, Sri Devi. Thank you for asking. So Maharaj, and in your class, Maharaj, you said that the more and more we increase the chanting of the holy name, the more and more we go out to the streets for Harinam Sankirtan, the more we the effects of Kali can be put on hold, lack of a better word, Maharaj, or restricted.
Everything becomes purified by the chanting of the holy name, the whole atmosphere. Honest people will become attracted, the demons will run. People in the middle will just be indifferent, but still they'll get some benefit.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Very nice points, absolutely. Any questions from devotees? Any reflections, any takeaways? Please do raise your hand. Yes, Parikshit, go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj. As we were speaking, one point came, and this is just information to tell everybody so that we can be more optimistic. The holy name saved one young lady who was about to commit suicide in Harrisburg. The holy name chanted by devotees during Rath Yatra. He was just close to where the Rath Yatra was at. And she changed her mind and came, and now she comes to the temple. Well, so this is how strong the holy name can be. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you for that. Was that the Rath Yatra we had this year?
Rath
Yes,
Yatra this
Maharaj.
year, this
The
very
one
year.
that
Yep.
the one that you were at, yes.
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
From a distance, she was at the bridge attempting, and she heard mridangas and kartals, and she was distracted by it. And she walked to the island where we had the Rath Yatra, and she saw devotees happy jumping and laughing and smiling. And she asked, and I don't know who she asked, but she asked someone, what is it that make you all happy? Because everybody was jumping and happy. And then whoever she was talking to talked about the holy name and what this was all about. And she participated, and she came to the temple next day on Sunday.
Nice.
She asked Brett. She actually asked Brett.
Oh, was Brett? Oh, she spoke to Brett.
One aspiring for you, Maharaj.
Oh, good. Yeah, you picked the right person. He's very
Brett. Brett was drenched in sweat and dancing, so I guess she got the right person to ask.
Amazing. That Rath Yatra was really good. It was really good. There's a lot of good energy there.
Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, like I have heard and read, testimonies and pastimes of how devotees get saved by the holy name just by hearing it. But this is the first time that I've actually witnessed a person that was saved by the holy name and got distracted by it, lack of a better word, because of doing something wrong. So for me, it was definitely a living testimony to at least to know someone who actually, went through that and got distracted. So it's like so real, like it's real more than real kind of a thing.
It's happening a lot with our books. There are people who are on the verge of, various types of crisis in their life. Some people are suicide. They come across our books. It changes everything. I have a few stories in that regard.
It's just amazing, Marge. Just amazing. When we hear such incidents, Marge, it gives us more. It makes us feel like this is real. There is no 2 minutes of doubt or seconds about it. It's really real. The books and the chanting, it's so real.
Yeah, Bob Dylan said it. He said it to the non-devotees. There's something happening here, Mr. Jones, but you don't know what it is.
Okay. Don't know. I like that. I like that. I should definitely remember that, Maharaj. Amazing. Wow.
Yeah, it's that people can't see it, but it's happening.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing, Maharaj. It really is. It really is. It really is. Thank you, Maharaj.
I wouldn't even be on the planet if it wasn't for Krishna consciousness. That I can say for sure.
Mm.
A lot of devotees would say the same thing, that their lifestyle was really heading for disaster the way they were living. But by Prabhupada's presence and by the books and the holy name, they came and changed their whole life.
Amazing, Maharaj.
Each devotee has some testimony in that regard.
Yeah. I'm thinking, Maharaj, that if we put all the testimonies together, I think we'll have, I don't know how many volumes of all the testimonies. It'll be outnumbered.
Do you believe in magic?
Yes. Yes, I know that song.
Krishna magic.
Yeah, Krishna magic. It's the kind that that once you experience it, then you realize everything else is fake.
Yes. So true. There's a post here from Saurabh Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, all glories to devotees to you and Shri Prabhupada. I loved this year's Rath Yatra. I still have visuals dancing with you those 3 to 4 days. Very special moments for me.
Which Rath Yatra was that?
The one in Harrisburg, Maharaj. Saurabh, the driver. Remember him?
Yeah. Yeah, we should do that this coming year again.
I will work on it, Maharaj. I have to first get the date from the city by January is when I'll know when the date will be. Yeah, I should know the dates by January from the local city and put my dates in.
That was a really nice group of devotees who came together. I was actually quite surprised to see how things just came together so wonderfully.
Thank you, Maharaj. Only by the mercy of the devotees and yourself, Maharaj, definitely. It takes collective effort. Thank you. Any other questions from devotees? Any thoughts, clarification, anything that's coming to your mind? Yes, Rajamandala Prabhu, go ahead. Oh, okay. He unmuted and muted. Let me see. Did I miss him? He muted back up. Okay, so there's no question. Marge, would you like to end with one round of chanting?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I have 2 rounds left. Can we do 2?
Yes, Marge, we can do 2.
Okay. As long as I'm not pushing your time.
No, Marge, we can do 2. Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Just in case you're wondering, these are 2 rounds that I didn't finish yesterday.
No problem, Marge. You're the boss. We'll follow you, Marge.
3 Devi chants 34 rounds a day.
Wow.
Every day.
How do you do that?
That's why you say so enthusiastic, Mataji.
Guru Maharaj, I just need to chant that many just to be tolerable to all of you. Otherwise, you'll be kicking me out of here. That's why I have to chant so much.
Yeah, you should chant more.
Yes. Then maybe you will actually begin to like me instead of just tolerating me.
We like you because you chant 34 rounds.
I need to know your secret, Sri Devi.
Yeah. Okay. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. 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 Hare Rama, Hare Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Thank you so much, Mark, for such a wonderful class, and thank you to all the devotees for joining us. Vanchokalpiviyascha, Kripasindhabhesha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki jai. Have a wonderful day. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you very much. Dear Guru Maharaj, thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat,
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you, Anasuya. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari
Thank
Bol.
Thank you. Hare
Anusuya, do you
Krishna.
have a few minutes after this class to just take my phone call? Or
Yes.
you're busy?
Yes. Call me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a few minutes. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you, Anasuya.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.